Alright guys, welcome to Gun Talk with the Doyles, where we talk about guns, ammo, reloading, and everything in between. So starting a little video series, starting with doing some loading on 223. This will be my first time actually loading for a semi-automatic. Been just loading over the last year or so some precision rifle rounds for my wife's 308 and my 6.5 PRC, and then our hunting buddies come over as well, and we load for their 6.5 Creedmoor quite a bit. We like to do a lot of long range shooting, hunting, that sort of stuff, but we've kind of dove into the ARs a little bit, so I figured with AR availability as far as ammo in general, if I can make it, I'm going to do that. So I've bought pretty much everything here to be able to reload. We've got some brass, my annealing machine, and then I bought this Frankford Arsenal Platinum Case Prep Center that works really good. And I'm using an RCBS bench primer, and then a Mex Marksman's press, and then also a Frankford Arsenal IntelliDropper. So I have been out here using my Annealy's propane annealer. I've got about half the range brass annealed. So now I'm going to be moving over and now starting to size the brass. So I have made my own case lube. Basically, I've got 99.9% rubbing alcohol, and then lanolin. Sorry about the noise, guys. We'll bring these over. We'll let these sit. Oh, sorry, guys. My reloading partner is out here in the garage. This is Kimber. She hangs out with Dad in the garage quite a bit. So we'll be back in just a second. All right, guys. So the next step after annealing them, lubing up the case, now we're going to go ahead and size. So I'm using a set of RCBS small base sizing die. We will be using these in multiple different 223s. So the small base is going to allow them to be going into multiple chambers. I've set my sizing die up so that I'm getting about a between 4,000 and 5,000 shoulder bump. So it should be able to fit fairly decent in multiple chambers without any problems. The annealing process makes it quite a bit smoother and easier on the resizing. When you're doing 1,000 pieces of brass on a single stage press, it doesn't go super fast. I might try and talk the wife into a progressive press down the road if we like shooting our ARs as much as we think we will. It'll go a little faster. We used to reload for shotgun, and we moved up from single stage to a progressive, and that was nice, but then the price of lead got so expensive it was easier just to buy ammo. Unfortunately, we sold all of our reloading equipment, so I'd have to rebuy it to start over. All right, we'll be back with you in a few minutes after we get these done, and we'll show you the next step. All right, guys, so the next step after sizing is we're going to go ahead and remove the lube. I wet tumble with stainless steel pins to clean the brass, and then I just dry tumble it for, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour or so, remove the lube and clean it up. Just snug that down. and let this go for about 30 to 45 minutes.
Voila. Clean brass. This is Franklin Arsenal Platinum Prep Center. So it trims and chamfers deburrs, and then also we can run a brush through the neck. So this one, as you can see, is over spec, so it's 1.773, and 223 is 1.77 or 1.750 is minimum. So let's see what we can do. Put it in. And then our final is 1754 within spec. And you can just grab them. And I've found that so far consistency has been plus or minus about 1,000th. Depending on how good your sizing is off your shoulder, because that's what it's going off of. Yep, plus or minus about 1,000. Good enough for plinking rounds. All right, so the next step is after the cases have been cleaned, sized, and cut down to size, chamfer deburred, now we're gonna go ahead and put primers in. So I'm using the RCBS bench primer. Basically, I've got all my primers set in the tubes right there, and basically you just push down, it drops a primer in there. All you do is slide your case in, push down, and there you go. Nice seated primer. We just do it 99 more times. I always run my finger over to make sure that the primer is seated in to the correct depth. All right, guys, I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll go on to the next step where we're going to fill the cases with powder. Thanks. Good morning. So we're back again, still talking about 223 reloading. Last night I had to take a break. Like I said earlier, this is my very first time reloading 223 and using a die that has a taper crimp on it. I struggled getting that set up correctly. I ruined about 12 or 15 rounds. I was crushing down the shoulder. I don't know if we can focus it on that, but I was pushing the shoulder back and actually creating a lip right there, and it was subtle enough that I didn't notice it for a few rounds. So I decided to take a break overnight and come back out fresh this morning and start over. I did take the time to get the die all adjusted and my overall length set, that sort of stuff. So we're going to show the next step, which is basically putting powder in the case and now seating a bullet. So like I stated earlier, I'm using the Frankford Arsenal IntelliDropper. I'm using, like I said, Hodgdon H335 powder, and off we go. So it's already dropped to charge weight. Inspect the case. looking for a base to O drive of about 1836, 1835. All right, so we're right in spec there. And while you're doing that, the powder measure on auto has already dropped this next charge. So we're able to just move on to the next one. One of the things I found with this press, especially if you're trying to do precision, is do the same thing every time as far as how hard you push down on the press, how fast you push down on the press. All that will make a difference. Once again, here we are. So I'm going to be reloading up 100 rounds of this. I've already done 50. And then later on this afternoon, we're going to be heading to the range with one of our hunting partners, Jeremiah, and he's going to be bringing a couple of his ARs. We'll bring ours. We're just going to make sure that all these are going to cycle good in all the rifles before we come back and start doing a mass production run of 223. So until we see you guys at the range, have a great day.
It shoots.
Everything's cycling well, no problems with that. We'll have to watch it down here in a few minutes and just see if we got any kind of accuracy out of it. But so yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. So after a successful range trip, all the guns performed great. We had no malfunctions. They all fed and all the rifles good. Had approximately a 1-inch group at 100 yards on a couple of the different rifles. I'm very happy with the load. So we're going to continue making those. But I did bring home the range brass that we shot today, and I was going to show you how I start the process with cleaning. I've been in trouble more than once. And before I bought my brass dryer, I more than one time accidentally left brass drying in the oven all night long. So not good. All right, so I'm using a Frankford Arsenal wet tumbler. And when I bought this, it came with their own little brass cleaning packs. I'm almost out of these. So I'll be switching over to Dawn dish soap and Lemmy Shine, but we'll go ahead and use this. So this one, pretty full tub. I think the limit's like 15 pounds on the smaller version of the tumbler. So basically it's just hot water right up just below where the lid would sit. Right about there. And then I just drop in one of the packets. I take the lid, take my finger, and I just wipe it around the rubber on the lid itself. That seems to help it so it seals better and then it doesn't leak on you. And then it's basically just spin it down about as tight as you can get it, and we head back to the garage. So right now, guys, pretty simple. All we're gonna do is turn that on. I normally let it go somewhere between 2 to 2.5 hours.
and then we'll shut it off, rinse it off, and then we'll put it in the brass dryer. So we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll show you that. Okay, last step of the evening. Spreading it out in different layers. If you haven't used a wet tumbler, you definitely need to.
Definitely better than using my oven.
That is true. There you go, now it's going.
Now it's going.
All we do is turn this on. Immediately starts warming up. Put the top on. And in about 2 hours, this will be nice, dry, clean brass, ready for the next step. So thanks for tuning in. If you've hung around this long, I appreciate it. It's our very first video, guys. We'll get better at it as we go. If there was a part of the process that you'd like more information on, leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to go more in depth on any one of the processes, whether it's the annealing machine, setting up sizing dies, anything like that. It was a fun time. Everything came together. As you see, now the production run of 223 is going to start. We've got everything kind of ironed out. It went well, like I said. We got some good accuracy. Everybody's gun worked good. So yeah, we appreciate you turning in to Gun Talk with the Doyles. Guys, have a great day.